Welcome back to the channel. I finally made it out to my favorite hunting spot, and that's on my friend's farm. Between he and his brothers, I've got 14 sections of private land to hunt on. I also have an additional 2 sections of crown land. So this is a great spot, and boy, there are big deer out this way. In fact, I shot my very last buck right here where I'm sitting. He was broadside to me. I was in my tree stand right back there in that copse of woods, 197 yards away, and took him out broadside. Um, and he was a very nice 5x5 whitetail deer. So part of the reason, talking about tree stands, why I'm out here is to check up on my 3 tree stands that I have. I've got the one that's about 200 yards back here in the copse of woods. I've got another one about 350 yards off in that direction, and one 110 yards that way. So I will be checking up on those tree stands to make sure everything is a-okay, because deer season starts in about 2.5 weeks for me. I'll be coming out here with my muzzle loader and trying my hand with that. And then general season kicks off on the 10th of November. And hopefully my brother will be flying out over the general season, so we'll be able to hunt together. Now, the other reason I'm out here is because I had 2 cameras with these power packs on them, solar power packs, and they were working for about 8-9 months and then just quit. The power packs registered on my app that they were no longer recharging. And the reason for that was I didn't tighten the retention screws on the solar panels enough, so the wind blew the panels over, and therefore the sun couldn't hit them and recharge the power packs. The SpyPoint cameras that I have out here, the internal batteries took over, but they only lasted about a month and a half. So in June, both cameras went dead on me. So finally made it out here many months later to rectify the problem. And like I said, only to find out that the issue was I didn't tighten those retention screws on the solar panels tight enough, and the wind blew over the panels. And therefore the power pack couldn't charge. So real bummer, but got that sorted out, repositioned one of the solar panels as well, so it'll get more sun for a longer period. All right then, I'm going to just finish up here and then make my way to my first tree stand, and I will check in with you at that point. All this Spy Point camera is all set up, ready to go. Readjusted the power pack with the solar panel, as I mentioned, and it will be getting hit by sun probably in another hour or so, and should have about 4 or 5 hours of sun, I think. Yeah, about probably a good 5 hours of sun, and hopefully start recharging this power pack. All right, I am done here, so I'm going to be heading off to my first tree stand and checking that out and make sure it's okay. I'll check in with you once I get there. Everything looks good on this tree stand. So from this tree stand, I'm basically hunting the line here. So hunting the tree line. That is crown land in my south here. And it's exactly 98 yards to where I was a few moments ago. So the deer walk up and down here along the fence line between the crown and my friend's farm land here. And there's a couple of key spots where they regularly jump over. There's a trail there, well used, and you can count on them crossing in those exact spots all the time. Thought I'd give you a look at what I can see when I'm up in this tree stand. So that's crown land, all that bush that you're looking at. And right there is where I shot my buck, my 5x5 2 years ago. And that's also where my one Spy Point camera is. I had two in that general area, but I'm down to one. I'm going to reposition that other one somewhere else, or maybe put up a Stealth Revolver 360. So it's literally a 50-yard shot to the fence line here. And as I said before, the deer like to walk along this fence line, and there's a couple of key spots, trails, where they actually cross. They have to jump the fence. One of them is there, another one there, and then way back there where I got the camera, that is the most used crossing, and I get some fantastic shots of both photos and video of deer jumping the fence. Pretty sharp, especially those big bucks. Well, I'm glad I don't have to do any adjustments to this tree stand. Everything looks great. So I'm going to move on to the next. This is the smallest of the three tree stands I have. It's really a basic tree stand. The other two are sort of deluxe size. They're about 1.5 times bigger than a normal tree stand. I also have a huge platform. I think it's 20 by 20, I think. You can place your rucksack and your gear underneath the seat itself, which is really nice. All right, make my way down and to the next tree stand. In this copse of trees, I usually place a blind, and that's only a 60-yard shot to the tree line right there. All right, let's get to that other tree stand. And there it is, and that copse of woods right there. We have arrived. So this is my main tree stand, what I call my main one. This tree stand has been here 4 or 5 years, I think, now. And it's a big game tree stand. And as I said, it's a very comfortable and much larger tree stand than my first one that I was in. Quite comfortable up here, and a very large platform below the seat makes it very easy to stand anywhere on here, and to put your gear underneath you. Nice footrest as well. I'll give you a look of what I see from up here in a moment. So as I said, very nice large platform. Seat folds up. You can stand on here very easily. Needed extra little extra height. Take out deer, and plenty of room down here to put your pack. This is what I see from this tree stand. Now, I shot my buck 2 years ago right there, and that's where that spy point camera is, and that's also a well-used trail where the deer cross from the crown land, jumping over the fence, and then start to move towards this tree stand. That's 197 yards to that fence line. And the deer like to jump over the fence and then walk along right here along that tree line. And when they get over here, that's only like 60 yards, and then they're fully broadside to me. I've had quite a few bucks, but not big enough for me to pull the trigger on, but some really nice 4x4s, some baskets as well have come through here. So very nice. And then there's a trail right here. They like to come in here and walk right through this copse of woods to the other side. And look rearward from here as well. There's a trail that's used along that tree line. I'll show that to you in a moment. As I was saying before, that is a travel corridor. It goes all the way back there. That's about half mile. And so they'll move through this copse of woods or just around the edge, and then make their way. And between these trees here, I've had the opportunity to take out deer very easily, but they were never big enough for me, so I let them go. Let them grow bigger. And in one time, that's about 350 yards away, I watched a large buck. I don't know what that thing was. 6x6, easy, really heavy antlers, very tall, and he was fighting another buck, and I watched it for about 20 minutes, believe it or not, and I finally said, John, you better turn around and look forward, because I might, you might just miss something. I turned around, and 10 minutes later, I shot that 5x5 buck that I was telling you about directly to my friend. 197 yards. Right there. All right, that's for this tree stand. Oh, I also place, right down below here, I also place a blind as well, especially during general season. I'll sit in the stand for a while, maybe in the morning, then I'll go down into the blind for the afternoon, warm up, and maybe even stay down there for the evening. Put in my my buddy heater in there, and keep myself nice and warm in my thermal blind. All right, I'm gonna head over to my third and final stand, which we can't exactly see, but it's right through there. I'm pointing pretty much at it right now. So that's about 250 yards away. All the straps are looking good on this tree stand, so I think it is secure. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to give you a look at the tree stand itself. So this is a big game, and I think it's called HD 1.5. So it's extra large, very comfortable. This is a folding seat. Let's see if I can show you. Don't want to fall off here. So folding seat, very large platform, as you can see. Stand on, or put your gear underneath the chair. Really nice. The tree stand I'm about to go to is exactly like this one, the same model. Okay, let's get going. As I said, this one's been here, I almost think it's been 5 years. A little bit of rust here. Maybe I'll bring a can of spray paint, green spray paint, and just olive drab green spray paint. But everything is looking good on this tree stand. All the straps are looking good condition, so that's good. I decided to set up a Stealth Revolver 360 here with a solar panel and power pack. I was going to set it up differently and on a post, but I forgot the post back at home. So set up this 360. I'm going to stand behind it here because it's actually active right now and it wants to take pictures of me. So I've got the 360 set up here. I've got the solar panel. It's all working. Checked on the app. Solar panel is registering, so that's good. I've got it facing a trail here. This is a well-used trail. Right there is my tree stand. That's my primary tree stand, which I showed you earlier. And there's a trail running right through here. So I normally set up a camera in here. Usually not a cellular one. I just put a regular one, so when I come to the tree stand, after I finish my morning hunt, I check out that camera, swap out the SD card. But seeing that I've got this 360, Revolver 360, not in use, I thought might as well make use of it, and I've got it set up here. So should be interesting to see what I pick up over the next few days coming through here. It is a well-worn track. All right, I'm going to do some final adjustments, and then I'll check in with you when I get to the third and final tree stand. Let's head off to the last tree stand. There it is. All right, I'm gonna get the truck turned around, and then we'll go check out that tree stand. There's my final tree stand, and this tree stand is also a big game. It's I think it's called the HD 1.5. It's the same as the other one that I have. We were at a few moments ago. Here we are up in my final tree stand. That's all the crown land, all that bush over there. It's a quarter section. And my tree stands are on a quarter section as well. One of the quarter sections of the 16 sections of land I can hunt on. 14 sections are private, and the 2 other sections are crown land. Here you can see I've got some hooks up on a tree. That's an arm's length from the tree stand. I usually hook my thermos there, and perhaps my antlers there, or my rifle if I had to go down quickly. Anyways, those hooks come in really nice and handy. So around the bend is where I shot that 5x5 buck 2 years ago. And just to orient you a little bit, looking through these leaves here, there's the copse of woods. That is where that other tree stand is that we just left. If I stand up, maybe we can see it a little better. There we go. So that copse of woods right there. And I shot a doe last year with my muzzleloader from this tree stand. So I'm looking south here, and I watched the deer run across there and then jump over into this field right here, and directly behind me, about 5 o'clock, I shot the doe right there, 75 yards away. So that was the first deer of the season. I'm pretty happy with that, and the first deer that I got with my muzzleloader. Behind me is that travel corridor I was talking about. This actually is not a quarter section, it's a full section here off to the west. That belongs to my friend's brother. I also have permission to hunt on that. So this is the travel corridor right here. And quite often the deer will come down along there and literally come around here. They really hug the tree line, and then they shoot off over there, and they end up being broadside to my other tree stand. So if someone's sitting in there, they would have a chance to get a deer. My friend was sitting up here, and he got himself a nice 4x4 right out there, and I believe it was about a 150-yard shot that he took. Quite a nice one. Maybe I'm going to set up a camera. That tree right there, I usually put a camera on it, and I do have a SpyPoint Flex, which which is not in use, and I have it in the truck, so I think maybe I'll set it up on that tree right there. As I said, I usually have one on that tree, a camera, and I get a lot of stuff moving by here. Moose, lots of deer, obviously, coyotes, and so forth. Sure is a beautiful day, really warm for the 22nd of September. Can't complain, great weather. I would say that probably sitting around 27 Celsius right now. So I'm going to set up that SpyPoint camera I mentioned earlier, just over here on a tree. Should only take me a few minutes, and it's too bad I don't have another solar panel for it, but it'll have to do. And I mean, I do have this one here, but it's not fully charged, but I'll try it. Maybe it'll register. Maybe it's gotten enough of a charge because I've had it in the sun for most of the day now. So I will try that. I know that it does work on the SpyPoint Flex camera, but it did not want to work on that Revolver 360. So that's that Stealth Revolver 360. I think the plug end is just different, and therefore it wasn't making the proper connection. Okay, I am going to set up that SpyPoint Flex camera right now. Change in plan. I just remembered that I had a number of these SpyPoint cell links with me. So what this does is transforms a regular trail camera into a cellular camera. Really easy to set up. As I said, I've got 5 of these. I've been using them for, I guess, about 5 years. I'm not sure if they actually make these anymore. I'm sure you could probably find them on the market, but they work really well. I've been really happy with them. The only thing I did was I upgraded it with a better antenna. This is I think a higher gain antenna. You get a little better reception. So especially if you're way out in the country and on the fringes of cellular service, this antenna here will help you maintain the cell service that you need to run these cameras. So this is just a regular Stealth camera, an older model. It's a 20 megapixel resolution camera. Takes really nice pictures, so that's what I'm going to use with this cell link here, and I'm going to install it on this tree rather than use the SpyPoint Flex camera that I have. I'll probably use that somewhere else out here. I'll look for another spot and place that one somewhere. All right, better get at it and get this on the tree. I've got the cell link, the SpyPoint cell link up along with the Stealth camera. Just looking at getting the straps here all tidied up. Hopefully you can see the status lights. There they are. So we've got 3 bars for signal strength, and the status LED right down here is still blinking. It'll hook up soon to the cellular network, and then all the lights will go off, and then I know that it's ready. Cellular connectivity out this way is sometimes a little sketchy, but it's good to see I've got three bars for signal strength. SpyPoint cell link is all set up, and it's working with that Stealth camera. It's already sent me 67 pictures because I had everything on the camera on as I was moving around setting it up. So I know it's working, and that's great. Having these cellular cameras, and specifically these cell link SpyPoint cell links, is really nice because I'm about an hour and a half drive away from here. So between the SpyPoint Flex and the Revolver 360, and then any cameras that I set up with the cell links, saves me a lot of driving, having to come all the way out here to check on the cameras, you know, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So with the cameras all being on the cellular network, I can check in with the Stealth Revolver 360 at any time. Actually, I can take pictures on demand or videos on demand, which is great. And I have all the other cameras set up for either instant transmission when pictures are taken, or I think I have this one here is set up for 6 times daily. So I'm going to try to find a location for that SpyPoint Flex camera that I have. So I'm going to go and do a little bit of scouting here and see what I can find. I'll check in with you later. I'm driving along that corridor that I mentioned to you that's between these two parcels of land. And I'm thinking that maybe I might set the SpyPoint camera up somewhere along here just to see what moves through here. I mean, I can see trails running in and out of the corridor into this field here. And I mean, I've been out this way for the past 5 years, and I can tell you, I mean, I've driven along here and spooked dozens of deer. They're in there bedded down. They're not walking through. In fact, I can see here that the deer have been bedded down in here. It's all flattened in spots here, so and I can see one trail, well-used trail. So maybe I'm going to set a camera up in here. I think this might be a good spot. You can hear those cranes. Can't remember what the exact name of these cranes are, but there are hundreds of them out here. Not sure if you can see that, but there's a trail running right through there. There's another one here. And I have no doubt that some deer have been bedded down in here. Here you can see the trail carrying on. I'm thinking maybe point the camera right down here, down that trail. Gotta find a good tree and look straight down like that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll use this tree here, that tree, or maybe this bigger one here, and set the camera up on a slight angle. I think setting the camera up on a slight angle will be better. And then you can see the trail here. It'll pick up anything that comes down that trail. All right, that's the plan. I'll set the SpyPoint camera up on this tree here. All right, turn the camera on. The camera's gone through its setup cycle and it is all ready to go. In fact, it just took its initial test picture, so that'll be sent to my app momentarily. I'm pretty confident it's set up, so I'm going to leave it the way it is, and hope I get a message here in a moment. And if not, then I'll unlock it and start it up again and have it go through its startup sequence. Okay, we'll see how it goes in a minute. All right, this SpyPoint Flex G36 is set up and it is ready to start taking pictures. Well, that's it for today. I managed to get everything done on my checklist. Got to the 3 tree stands, made sure that they were okay, don't need any adjustments. Got 3 additional cameras set up here. So I've got 4 now, all of them are cellular. And the very first camera, I sorted out the solar panel issue with that, so shouldn't have a problem in the future, and that camera should stay powered for the rest of the time that it's out here. So thanks very much for tagging along. I hope you've enjoyed being out here with, on my little adventure in my other hunting spot. So get out, do something, enjoy the outdoors. I look forward to seeing you the next time.